What is up, Pyromaniacs? Pyrostasis here. We are back in the world of Feed the Beast. Almost said Unleashed, but it's Horizons. You'll notice that we've moved things down. If you haven't already seen the video for the new base, I strongly recommend you go and check that out. I've relocated down here to the bottom from where we were in the last episode. And we're running low on fuel, so I'm going to come here and just dig a little bit of this stuff up. The nice thing about having our Nether portal this high in the Nether, for those of you guys who aren't aware, we're really far away from any of the drop down areas over there. It just means we can get so much. Jeez, dude, really? Are you just trying to? He wants to be on YouTube. This is a pig man that just he wants to be on the internet. I mean, I can't blame him. I guess I can understand. But we're just pulling some of this stuff because we're going to need some more fuel since we're fixing to start really producing engines. At least hopefully we are. Oh! Alright, almost hit the little pig man. That ought to work. We're going to go back through. Alright, now that we're back through, let's top this off real quick. You can see we've got a pretty decent backlog here. We're going to go and cycle some of these buckets in. I did have to use one of the buckets for the other setup over here, this little machine. We're going to be setting up another fluid transposer here in a minute. We just haven't gotten to it yet, but we will be here shortly. I'm going to fill all three of these machines up real quick with juice. Okay, that's weird. There it is. Okay. Jumping up. Drop. Drop. There we go. That's 6. So we got 6 of us rocking and rolling now. And that's obviously full. Normally I wouldn't mess with another fluid transposer, but this one is going to make sure that this guy stays full, and so we need to make sure that we've got extra space. So what we're going to be making today, hopefully, and I do apologize that Big D's not with us today. He's it's a little early for him. I think he's still in bed. So we're going to be making, I think they're called Fluiducts now. Yes, there they are. So we got Fluiduct and Fluiduct Opaque. So transferred fluids, rate depending on fluid, contents cannot be seen. Rate depends on fluids, and this one can be seen. So it just comes down to, do we want this one, copper ingots and hardened glass, or do we want this one, which is copper ingots and a lead ingot? That's actually very easy to make. Which one gives us more? Okay, I don't really care if we can see it or not. We've got plenty of lead. We've got plenty of copper. That makes it a lot cheaper. Screw hardened glass. We're just gonna run with this. So let's put. Let's see. Let's do 6. That's gonna kind of take a big chunk out of our copper, but I think we'll be okay. All right, that gives us 24 Fluiducts. All right. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna go like this, bam, bam, and then bam. And then we're gonna go up, up, up. I hope that thing can work out the top. This is ugly for right now. We will get this fixed here soon, but for now it's a little ugly. We're gonna set the exit, the orange, top. Oh no, we don't need it there. Fluid transposer, shit. I don't believe there's any way for us to get it out of there. Okay, so we're gonna do this. Break. And let's do it this way. Switch. There we go. Now we're draining. Alright, so what we're doing is we're putting all of that into these, and we should see these start coming up. You can see there. And that's draining out. That's filling up. So what we need to do over here now is I need to just simply drain this. Once we drain this, we won't have to make another fluid transposer. We should be good. So go ahead and just fill these up randomly. It doesn't really matter because all of them are going to get, if I fill one up, then technically it will just simply spread the rest around. Alright, I want to be careful and not burn. Why are you doing that? Oh, it's because it's already full. Makes sense. There we go. That one's full. That one's full. We got any more? There we go. There we go. Brilliant. Hopefully I can hit this one. Yep. Okay, that one's filled. What about you? Not filled. Okay, now you're filled. What about you? How close? Wow. We have more buckets. We have what? Oh, God. All right, so we got enough for one more bucket. We're just going to have a bucket of lava, which I guess we can use as a trash can. From here on, all of these are basically going to be filled enough to where we're not really going to be able to mess with them until this runs out of power, which it shouldn't. Now, one of the problems you're going to notice is we're only running at about half speed here. One of the nice things about thermal expansion compared to some of the other ones is it can actually regulate its power usage. So when it's capped out or when it's high, you're going to be putting at 400 RF a tick. As it lowers and the power becomes reduced, it starts regulating this. When we opened this up, it was at 241. Now we're at 240. If we give this another minute or so, this will probably drop to 239. Eventually it'll drop to a point where it balances out, where it's equalizing more or less the pressure. If you're an economist, it'll hit equilibrium, and we'll stop there. So what we need to do now is I need to get some more engines in here to kind of counterbalance. So the problem that we're going to run into with that is we don't have a whole lot of stuff. Oh, wait. Oppie has got the portals working, I think. Let's see, does it work? Oh, it's not quite high enough, Oppie. Oppie, I can't get up. Oppie, it's terrible. Okay, there we go. And there's a portal up here now. She's redecorating my base a little bit, so. Okay. Let's clean some of this up just a bit. So what we want to make is some of these Oh, a compression dynamo. Generates energy, redstone flux, requires liquid fuel and coolant. What is the difference between a compression dynamo? I wonder if that produces any more. Dynamo. Alright, so we have steam dynamo, magmatic dynamo, and compression dynamo. Now, these are pretty cool. Steam's only going to need water, I would assume. I am kind of curious what the difference between some of these engines are. Obviously, a quick look on the thermal expansion wiki would kind of let me know, but I'm not sure how well it'll work. So, let's take a look at a steam dynamo. That relies on copper, which we've got a pretty decent amount of. Copper gears are fairly easy to make, and we've got all the stuff. So let's take a look at the steam dynamo. I'm just curious if this is a good alternative to the magma. So that's two of those. We need one of these, which is just silver. I think I have some silver on me somewhere. Shiny silver. There we go. We now has silver. And there we go. Pop that. All right, let's make the steam one. Whoops. Perfect. And then we've got the compression dynamo. And I'm really interested to see, generates energy, requires fluid, fuel, and coolant. So, requires water and solid fuel. So I'm thinking this one's going to be a little low tier. This one's going to be a little bit higher tier. So let's take a look at a compression dynamo. We're going to need some 10 gears, some 10 ingots. And let's just take a look at what this one can provide. So I do have, I think I have some 10. Yes, that's Envar. That's silver, so I'm going to need another one of you. Where's our 10? Surely to God we've got more 10 than that. Aluminum, zinc, silver. God, we got all these different weird types of ores that I've never freaking heard of. We got some 10, but that is not going to be anywhere near enough. We're going to need drastically larger amounts of 10. And we may simply just not have the materials to make that yet. Am I missing something? That's pulverized iron. Let's see. That's more useless crap. How is it that 10 is hard to find? I want to say 10 was hard the last time we played Feed the Beast. Oh well. Let's go see how much this other engine can make. We'll have to wait for We'll have to wait for the other one to fire up. So let's drop on down. Whoa, whoa. Ow! Alright, it's fine. I didn't need that leg anyway. Didn't need that leg anyway. Okay. So, now that we've gotten our little engines over here completely automated, they're all going to be rocking and rolling for the end of time. This is enough fuel to keep this running, and it seems like 240 is the equilibrium. Let's take a look at the steam dynamo. Now, we're going to go ahead and slap this guy right here. He's going to be going down. We're going to take a look. Okay, so you can see right here the maximum output on this little monster is 40. That's nothing. Maximum output on this one... Is that 40 as well? I thought this was 400. Okay, so this is an option then. Never mind. Never mind. Alright, so with this, I have to provide some form of steam and some form of physical materials. So let's break this down real quick. And we need to find an aqueous accumulator. We have an aqueous accumulator back outside, I believe it is. Let's run out. Thankfully, I have a couple buckets of water, I believe. Or buckets on me. Yep, we do. We have just the right amount, too. Let's head upstairs. That's interesting that all of the engines would produce the same amount. I wouldn't expect that. Alright, so we got that one. Perfect. Now, I'm thinking the compression engine might be a little bit better, but I'm going to have to check it out once we get a little bit higher up. If they're all equal, then it's just going to be which version you prefer. Alright, dropping down. Okay, there we go. Almost broke a leg that time. Okay. So what we need to do is we need to make an infinite water supply real quick. We're just doing this. Oh, shit. I completely forgot. Here, let's do this. This will be faster way up. There we go. Use the Thaumcraft to get up a little bit higher. Right, moving. Come on. Jump. Ow. Damn it. The algae is blocking me. Okay, here we go. Sorry, Mr. Algae. I hated to murder you and a million of your little buddies, but you would not let me get my bucket of water. That'd be kind of interesting if you could end up with like a bucket of algae water. Ugh. If you've never seen a disgusting swimming pool after it's sat unchlorinated for like 6 months, you have no idea the joys of a disgusting pool. Alright, there we go. That's going to give us our infinite water supply. Boom. Okay, we're going to go ahead and set this up right here. Now again, this is just a test, more or less. We're just going to do this. And I got to keep this close, because where we're setting this up, we don't have exactly a whole lot of liquid ducts. I mean, I guess we do have a decent amount. Alright, aqueous accumulator. Now we do bam, boom, bam. Whoops. Did I put that inside? Where did it go? You guys saw me click. That thing disappeared. That's weird. Okay. And we're just going to put this right there, and then we're going to do like this. Bam, bam, bam. And then we simply say hook up. And there we go. Fill in the water up there. Now we put that in there, and it's going to burn. You can see it's producing steam pretty fast. Once it hits up to 40 mark right here, now it's producing 40 a tick. And that's filling these up, giving us a little bit more power. That's actually increasing our total gain. So we're actually increasing at this point now with the setup. So this is going to have to find a new equilibrium spot. So previously we were at 240. Now we're coming up a little bit. It may increase as much as, I would say, half of that. So we could look at that hitting about 260. I wouldn't be surprised, but it looks like it's going to go the full 40 amount, because we're up 23 already. That's pretty crazy. Again, the only problem with these engines is now we actually have to produce the wooden components. So one of the interesting ways that we can set this up to work a little bit easier is we could set up a tree farm, and then with a tree farm we use, where is it? We use one of the sawmills here, and the sawmills, oh, these are cool. The sawmill will actually take a log and grind it up into like, I think it's 8. So you basically end up with even more of these, and you can put these right here, and you can see, unfortunately, these don't produce much. You can see they're just burning through them really, really quickly. Let's see, what is that? 4.5K RF. Yeah, and each of these is 32. So you can see it's definitely not as much. It's definitely gonna be a little bit slower, but with a good tree farm growing, effectively, you could really blow things up speed-wise. So what we're going to do in the next episode is we're going to take a look at the compression engine. We're going to see if this little monster is worth organic matter compressor. That sounds interesting. We're going to see if the compression dynamo is worth its weight. I am curious to see if that does any more and what the setup is for that. But at least initially, these steam dynamos aren't too shabby. Coal's fairly abundant. You can get that pretty much set up pretty easily. And I think that's a pretty secure option. So anyways, those of you guys watching on YouTube, let me know what you guys think about the video in the comment section below. If you liked it, make sure you slap that like button. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next clip.